Let me give you my rankings. Okay, before I do, disclaimer. I have not been in a dance studio in over 10 years. I have not been professionally trained in over 20 years. So my judgment is coming as a spectator, a lover of the art that is dance, as well as a lover of Street Woman Fighter. This season is turning out to be incredible. Also, a lot of people are like spectating what was expected of each group based off what we're seeing. Some people are complaining about this looking like a music video and not a mega crew mission, not having enough people in this shot, the aerial shots. We don't even know what was required. So I don't even want to give my judgment and rankings based off of that. I know that one part of the mega crew mission is always kind of like to tell a story, some type of seamless theme throughout the dance. So I'm pretty much kind of like giving my judgment based off of that. Also, I'm enjoying all the tea and all the comments because you guys are tuned in. Listen, all the videos I put up was my first time putting my eyes on any of those performances. So since I've watched them, I've gained so much more knowledge about what is going on within the dances that we are seeing. From my own views as well as reading y'all comments. Y'all are... But I'm going to give you my rankings, okay? I'm going to do a video by video so I don't get too yappy, a long-ass video. Blah, blah, blah. I'm already yapping too much. I'll be back with my rankings. Listen, everybody be wanting to fight on the internet. Everybody be wanting to fight. And listen, none of us really know what the fuck we talking about. we are guessing the context of any of this because the full context hasn't been given with the episodes. But I'm going to give you my ranking for the World of Street Woman Fighter Mega Crew Mission. I made this list just... considering a couple of things. Jenny said this is about the identity of the nation in which your teams represent, something pulling some element from that culture. Considering that, and I know that every video had one thing in common, and that was the aerial shot. So I want to consider the aerial shot, that work, as well as just preference in a lot of things. And with that said, my number five is, I love this team so much, but my number 5 is AG Squad Team Australia. First, I want to start by saying there were some great cultural elements in the beginning of this piece. Great representation of the Australian culture. Gorgeous, gorgeous pictures at the beginning. But then we moved on to the dance. I had some issues with the wardrobing off top. The team itself, the wardrobing, Kaya in the red, the girls in the brown. At the beginning, it kind of muted them out a little bit. And then the mega crew dancers in these baseball jerseys where everybody's not wearing them alike. I know it was supposed to make contrast, but it felt like clash instead of contrast in a way. My other issue was the kind of like the transitions between kind of like stories within the piece. I believe the beach went to the water with Vanessa. I think that was decent. They did the back bend into her piece. And the best transition in this piece was from Vanessa to Danica, the water to the snake portion, which is really strong, but too short. Danica's section was too short. But what the girls had on in that section, I wish would have showed up later on the beach with Aaliyah. But before Aaliyah comes, you have, I believe, Kyra and Ruthie Baby's section. And in that section, the dancers have on like these white jackets with khaki pants, and the dancing is great, but I'm distracted by the wardrobing. I'm not gonna lie, something about the wardrobing just didn't set the mood for me. And then you go to Ruthie Baby in all black with the guys with the silver gloves. And again, I might be eating my words after context comes out, but even without the context, just watching the transitions, I'm trying to make sense of it and nothing makes sense. And from Ruthie Baby, they go to what I feel like is the strongest part of this piece, which is Aaliyah's beach portion, which I wish those outfits again from Danica's Snake would have shown up on this beach with Aaliyah. And I wish it was all the girls in black dancing with Aaliyah, with the showcasing of that younger dancer, all the girls intertwined where you can kind of like not tell them apart from the mega crew dancers because they're all wearing black in a way. And then they show up at the end of that, standing on that beach, standing strong, looking cohesive because they stand back up in them outfits. And again, nobody's really standing out except for Kaya and Aaliyah. They move into the A and G, which is the aerial shot. And that A and G is a little wrinkled. I love you girls, but that A and that G was a little wrinkled, and then they go into the circular thing, and I'm not sure what picture they were painting with the circular thing. You go down to the male dancers, and she's dancing with the male dancers. It's great movement quality from them, but again, these outfits made it feel like Kaya, Aaliyah, and them. Nobody was standing out. It just, I'm pretty sure there's a story there, probably a beautiful story there. I didn't get the story, and I've been watching it over and over again. Try not to read too much into what other spectators are saying about it. I take away from this is that I didn't learn anything new about this team. I didn't take anything away from it, and I really wanted to. I love this team still. They just were my least favorite of the bunch, and they're my number 5. I will be back with my number 4. I will put it in the comments. What do you guys think? Don't beat me up too bad. Okay, on to my number 4 for the Woman of Street Woman Fighter Mega Crew Mission. And my number 4 is Osaka Ojo Gang. One of my favorite teams to watch on here, especially when it comes to the battle. Kyoka is one of my favorites. This piece kind of gave you what every typical Mega Crew Mission has given in the past. They open up strong. They all have on the same bodysuits. I don't know how I feel about the little feather and the cutout on the bodysuit, but it's green. And you see who the team is. And then you see the crew members back there in the white with the green accent. Already coordinate. Looks good. So they give us this amazing symphony piece with a lot of whacking. Minami over here killing it in her pink hair. Ibuki's doing her thing. They're using fans. There's a whole lot going on. A lot of dancing happening. Great opening piece as far as body movement execution of dance, right? Expected. Ibuki is a whacker, an amazing battling whacker. So I expected that, right? Great opening. Where are we going next? On to the next phase, and they introduced twice. And I have to say, not once was I gagged in this chapter of this piece. Not once. I think that their dance brought the piece down a bit, especially because it lasted too long. Yes, it was cute to see Momo and her sister Hana dance. We know that K-pop girl dance don't focus a lot on the footwork and movement. So for me, I was just like a lot of staring, a lot of hair twirling, a little bit of, and then, but it was a smart move to bring in twice. You know, it brings in the views or whatnot. But I just think it lasted too long. And then we move over to the aerial portion, and that was gorgeous. Rue and these fans, whatever was happening was gorgeous. And that didn't last long enough. Anyway, then they moved to the next part of the story. And this is when I got hyped up. Because I was for sure that this hip-hop thing, Kyoka, was finna head up like the best dance that I've seen on the show so far. Because the girl knows how to get down with like battle dance and all the type of... And they showing Kyoka, and then she dip off. And then we get a bunch of this from everybody. And it pissed me off because I had such high hopes for this portion for Kyoka. She's so versatile, and they have yet to really showcase her versatility on this show. She does more than just the battling. She is amazing in heels, so many things, but there was no highlighting her. I don't know what that's about. And then we go back to whacking. We whacking with light sticks. We're whacking a lot of whacking and waving of light sticks. It's beautiful. But I wasn't like, you know, I understand the significance of the light stick being important. The Japanese is the reason the light sticks in K-pop exist the way that they do. I believe that's something somebody said. Don't quote me on that. But I get it. And I was impressed with the intricacies, these synchronization, well done piece, but I wasn't wowed by this piece. But I do think that it gave a cleaner transition and a cleaner image more over AG Squad. So that is why they are my number 4. I love this team. I love all the teams, but I love this team. I'll put number 3 in the comments. Okay, let me give you guys my number 3. I honestly was about to abandon this whole ranking list situation because I couldn't decide. I could not decide. I love all 3 of these pieces so much. So much. So I tried to like remove some of my bias and try to consider what possibly the criteria was that we don't know. And again, I'm giving my take based off just as spectators. I am not a professional dancer. This is just somebody who loves the show, who loves dance, who's watched this show for all the seasons, and what I think. Just so you can't clock me. Whew. But removing my bias, and this, because this team has the most rewatch value in my opinion. It's my favorite as far as just visually stimulating, and that's Team Japan RH Tokyo. Immediately when this piece starts with the newscast, you get that ringing Tokyo, Tokyo, Tokyo. Growing up, I was a little bit obsessed with Japanese culture and Tokyo, especially anime, the fashion, whether it was Shibuya, Urahara, Koga, Harajuku, obsessed, right? Tokyo is so rich in identity, and I think the storytelling was really cool. She started in the 90s, which was like the height of that Urahara fashion movement, as well as the implementing of a lot of hip-hop elements within to those cultural moments. I think she does a gorgeous job showing us that right off. And this song, oh my God. And I really want to know what the RH Tokyo Rihanna hate is coming from. There's a lot of it I see online. A lot of discourse around it. I don't get it. I do hear some of the comments about this not looking like a mega crew mission. It looks like a music video, which I will say, once you're done doing all this choreography, Rihanna, please go into video direction. From this mission to the leader's mission, you have done your thing twice, because both of those rewatch value, girl. But I do think that this has the things that is required in the Mega Crew mission. Mega Crew mission is about the quantity of people in each frame and in each set of choreography. And I think that this has as many people in each frame as the other crews. Like, I am not seeing the people's issue with this being a Mega Crew mission. I do think that she took a bit of a K-pop choreography approach with some of it, where a lot of the movement qualities went with the lyrics of that song, the first song movement. I do love the teacher portion where she's the teacher and the kids are part of that mega crew. She did a big one. And everything is so good. Even thinking of a viral moment, creating that dance, a viral moment. She was thinking of everything. And then the celebrity appearance of Yuki Chiba. I love that they didn't bake on his celebrity. They gave you an image of him and the transition into 2025. He got on out of that frame, and then comes the aerial shot. So I love that it wasn't banking on him. It was just an introduction to Tokyo music and culture in 2025. They move into that aerial shot with those red dots. We know the red dot symbolizes the red dot on the flag. Beautifully choreographed aerial shot. The street choreography, girl, oh my God, this girl knows how to choreograph some shit. The usage of like the teleportation that she used in the choreography, the dance movements. I have like so many thoughts about it. It's like an overload of creativity when it comes to her choreography. But I will say, the biggest issue, I think, with this piece is it's too much her. It doesn't feel like RH Tokyo. It feels like Rayhata Nim. It feels... if this girl could sing and rap, I would totally be tuning in. She felt like the star of this whole production. It didn't feel like the team. It felt like her and them. And I guess that would be the only note that I really have for this piece. Otherwise, I love the imagery. I love the storytelling. I love the identifiable moments from Tokyo culture. I think she did an incredible job. And I'm a little bit biased. She is my number 3. I say, see, I'm talking about she is my number 3. She is not the team. RH Tokyo is my number 3. Put my number 2 in the comments. All right, my number 2. I'm so sick of this list. I just want this list to be over already. Because I can't. I'm like mad at where I put everybody after watching the performances again. My number 2, I tried to remove the bias, and even considering all things, even in my last video, someone commented some of the criteria, which was what I thought it was: the aerial shot or the high angle shot, the cultural identity of the country in which you represent, as well as the choreographer's competence. And I think I did a pretty good job, even though I'm kind of mad about where I put RH Tokyo. But with that said, my number 2, Team Korea, Bums Up. Immediately when this piece opens up, you know what it's about to be. You see her laying there, you already get this eerie feeling. They're painting a picture of what this piece is going to be already. Then baby girl turns on those acting chops, and you already know that you are in the horror historic drama realm. And those of us who consume K dramas and K content know that they are good at painting those pictures. So Honey J opens up with that swaying motion, and it's so eerie and gorgeous. The gats and everybody dressed alike. This feels like a mega crew, and I think that was one of the strongest points that were made at the beginning of this piece. Everybody was dressed alike. Nobody was the star. It was about the mega crew. It was about the dance. It was about the movements. I think the girls did great with the facial expressions. It was haunting. It was very clean. Then they moved into the spotlight, where one like image in the spotlight was the gats and the hands, and then the next one was the girl like doing the back bend situation that was creepy as hell because it went along with their sound and the music, their horror sound. And then they go to the ladies there standing in the gas, and one blows over, and the transition is her blowing over to the aerial shot, and you see these amazing formations. Their aerial formation shot was the best in my opinion. They did so much in that moment. The hats flipping from white to black, the pictures that they were painting, just for that to end with them opening it up, and that actress is there again reaching out like she's coming out of a grave, and then they cover her up, and then her hand comes out of the grave. What? Storytelling. And from that, it moves over to Bada. Bada just had to make sure she came back this season. She just had to make sure she was in the bed with her fan, and she's doing her then, doing her Badaism. But I love that they kept it kind of short and sweet. Bada got in and she got out. And then they move into this fan portion, and it was, and this time they have these red and blue fans, and it kind of shapes the symbol. It's a yin yang on the actual Korean flag, but it gives that appearance. Gorgeous. They come out of that moment to Lee Jung doing the facials, and now you can see everybody who's on that team. You can see clearly the team members' faces, and they end so strong. They zoom out and reveal all the mega crew, and then they go into this cut where they're dancing in the spotlight, all the girls with their fans, strong. It felt like a story being told. And then it ends with the actress in the center with that kind of spooked expression on her face, and the girls come in with their. Listen, it was great storytelling. I believe people were saying this was something about shaman ghouls. I won't pretend to know the actual storytelling, but whatever it was, I believed it. I think they did a great job given that eerie feeling throughout the piece. The only thing I would note is that there was no moment where you're just like, wow, about the actual dancing. My wow moment is way more about the pictures that were painted more so than the actual dancing. But I do think that this was a very strong piece overall, and that's why they're not my number 2. Not me almost forgetting to talk about my number 1. Not me almost forgetting to talk about my home team, Team Motive. Marley girl, you are brilliant. This piece is so layered. It's so layered. And a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of things went over people's heads, but I don't know the clear message, but I'm going to tell you kind of what I got from it. The message was set when it opened up with that darkly melanated man draped in the U.S. flag. I knew this was about to be storytelling. And I have to say that I appreciate this team and Marley bringing the true experience of hip-hop culture to the Mnet stage. We've watched many perform it, but this is hip-hop in its truest form. She gave a picture that showed our joy, our power, and also our pain. Because I remember when I first watched it, I was darn near in tears because she gave us imagery of foundational hip hop, the b-boying, the freestyle battling so many things, and the colors red, white, and blue not simply being the country's colors, but extremely significant to so many things within American culture and the climate right now. The tensions, red and blue, political tensions. Red and blue, it could symbolize gang culture that was deeply rooted within the hip hop experience. And red and blue symbolizing police lights, because often black and brown bodies are over policed in this country. And in some ways, I feel like the white is the silence in between in some way. About the dancing in particular, this team, when they dance, they feel like an extension of each other. Like when one is centered and the others are moving, it feels like it's their extremities in a way dancing. The synergy and energy between this team is undeniable. Hip hop culture is rooted in resistance in a way. It was black and brown people coming together to create something beautiful despite the oppression that they were going through. And I think this piece is so significant to this space, the K-pop, the K-content space, because there's often so many conversations around the hip-hop usage within K-content. And I think that this piece showcased the message that was clear in the story and evolution of hip-hop, that hip-hop was created for everyone. The amount of ethnicities and hues of melanin throughout this piece. We the people. This showcased hip-hop as being that promise of America, where all men are created equal and have the ability to participate and thrive. Hip-hop has been that. America, not so much. You did your thing, Marley and Team Motive. I cannot wait for the episode tomorrow. What do you guys think is going to happen? I kind of have a good idea based off the views what's going to happen. But Team Motive, you're my number one regardless.